Welcome to Wake Up America. Today we have Ohio Secretary of State Jennifer Brunner. Jennifer, you have a career as an attorney, as a judge, and now as the Ohio Secretary of State. Why is it that you want to run for the United States Senate in 2010?
I value public service, and I understand that right now in the history of our state and our country, we need leaders who will step up and provide real leadership and not be concerned about what the effects could be to them personally as far as whether they could be reelected or not. We have to have people who are focused on what public service actually is, which is working for the greater good. My state, Ohio, is in some of the worst condition that it's been in decades. We've lost jobs. We've got companies leaving the state wholesale. We've got young people who aren't staying in the state because the jobs aren't here. And jobs and the economy are first and foremost huge issues. Healthcare plays into that. But looking at the traditional manufacturing base in our country, in our state, Ohio is really poised to take advantage of the changes that the president's bringing about with the stimulus package, and to take advantage of the green energy jobs that will not only create more jobs but help transform how we use energy in this country and the direction and the wealth of our economy.
And you talked about Ohio being sort of the center for manufacturing. What does Ohio need to do, and what sort of things would you champion in the Senate to get manufacturing reinvigorated in this state?
Ohio needs to bring together people from the various levels of government, from the chambers of commerce, from labor organizations, from civic activists, and look at the particular opportunities that are there for manufacturing in the transformation that the government is pushing as far as changing the way that we use energy in this country. And for instance, we could be manufacturing the parts, any number of parts of wind turbines. We could be working on an infrastructure grid where there would be many construction jobs involved. Any closed down manufacturing plant needs first and foremost to be retooled and redeveloped, and that would enable then the building trades to come in. They're sort of the tip of the spear, and they would be able to start that process then as we work to then develop the manufacturing jobs for any number of things along the way, whether it's solar panels or any of the parts for the wind turbines.
And regarding Ohio's sort of depreciating infrastructure, do you support a program where Ohio would have a massive building project to get to overhaul its transportation and its mass transit system?
Ohio should be part of a greater national scheme where one thing I see when we talk about train transportation from Cleveland to Columbus to Cincinnati, the other question that we have to ask is, once you get from Cleveland to Columbus, what is your public transportation when you arrive in Columbus? So we have to proceed with a very integrated plan where we're looking at cause and effect. But yes, if we could have the type of transportation for consumers, for members of the public that we have, for instance, in Europe, where you can take a train to a number of different places, as we move off of the oil dependence for our energy, this will allow us to conserve as we start to develop those new forms of energy.
And the way you described Ohio, it seems like it's sort of a microcosm of the United States. Do you think that Ohio can be sort of a leader, a spearhead in change that we see throughout the nation?
Ohio can be, with good leadership, and it's not just working with the state government, but it's our senators not only working on legislative policies, but taking the resources of Washington, understanding the rural and the urban needs in the state, and bringing that type of development together with state and local government. One way that I've been able to achieve this type of change, or a culture change in an organization and government in the past, has been to bring all the stakeholders to the table, talk about what it is we want to try to do, understand how that's going to affect various sectors, make adjustments so that we can make it possible for everyone to participate. Then those stakeholders go back to where they came from and they become the ambassadors for that change. Sometimes it even requires cross-training because people are really going toward the same goal but speaking different languages and having different ways to get there. But this is really how we affect change, because government really is about people, and the types of things we're talking about in terms of our manufacturing, our green jobs, education, healthcare policy have to do with the well-being of our people.